The real magic to any MMO group is the crazy dance between tanks, healers, and DPS. These roles are like the ultimate trio at a party. Each one needs the other to truly shine. Tanks have to believe that healers will keep them standing when the punches start flying. DPS are banking on the tanks to play bouncer. And healers have to be the life of the party, slinging cocktails to every person in need. It's a wild, wacky, trust fall exercise where everyone's got each other's backs. Or at least they better if they want to survive the fights. The world of massively multiplayer online, or MMO games, is a complex yet fascinating genre. It's where you can slay murlocs in the middle of a drenched jungle and chat about fine wines with a random priest that can only cast Flash of Light. Here, everyone picks a role that makes them shine the best. Among these roles, there are three that are the rock stars: the tank, the healer, and the DPS, damage dealers. Each of these roles has unique responsibilities, skills, and strategies that when played right, make powerful foes look like little girls serving cupcakes. Getting the hang of these roles is key for any MMO player wanting to dominate dungeons, raids, and PvP encounters. Often, this teamwork looks like a chaotic dance during complex raid mechanics, where timing and teamwork are everything. Imagine a high-level raid. The tank is like a sheepdog, herding the boss away from the group while juggling annoying ads, extra enemies that keep popping up. The healer is a frantic medic, running around trying to keep everyone alive while dealing damage that seems to hit all the enemies at once. Meanwhile, the DPS are like over-caffeinated squirrels, trying to unleash their damage without stepping on the landmine. It's like a well-orchestrated circus, so when it works, it's like pure magic. The tank is often seen as the team's unsung hero. Standing in the front line of defense against enemies, think of tanks as the ultimate orc shield, designed to block, absorb, and mitigate damage to ensure their squishier teammates remain safe. Their main gig? Keeping enemies so annoyed that they only focus on them and forget everyone else. Tanks come armed with threat-generating abilities like taunts and crowd control moves that basically say, "Hey, over here! Pick on me, someone your own size." Tanks typically have health bars that seem to stretch to the moon and back. Paired with robust defensive capabilities, their bag of tricks include abilities that reduce incoming damage and absorb nasty hits. For example, in World of Warcraft, the Protection Warrior uses moves like Shield Block and Last Stand to laugh in the face of danger. But tanks aren't just about being damage sponges. They play a strategic role, positioning enemies like a chess master to optimize their team's abilities while keeping them safe. Effective tanking requires a blend of situational awareness, quick decision making, and encyclopedic knowledge of mechanics and the strengths and weaknesses of their own teammates. In short, being a tank is like a cross between a bodyguard, traffic cop, and a superhero, all while keeping a straight face. The healer's role in any MMO group is like being the team's overworked nurse, therapist, and snack provider all rolled into one. Their toolkit is as diverse as a Swiss Army knife, packed with direct healing spells, area of effect heals, heals over time, HOTS, abilities. Healers are also responsible for patching up boo-boos, scrubbing off nasty debuffs, and handing out protective buffs and shields like candy. Oh, and don't forget about throwing in a bit of DPS, but we'll get to that bit of multitasking in a sec though. In World of Warcraft, healers are like unique snowflakes, each with their own special flair. Priests might specialize in powerful single target heals, while sneaking in some nasty dots to damage enemies and heal you at the same time. Or engineers in Guild Wars 2 might bring healing with the finesse of a mad scientist, using quirky gadgets and elixirs to patch up their teammates while throwing in some wild contraptions for good measure. With their trusty gyros buzzing like over-caffeinated drones, they ensure everyone stays alive while looking like they just stepped out of a steampunk circus. Healers need to be both proactive or reactive depending on their class mechanics, while managing their mana or energy like it's the last coffee in the office. Prioritizing healing targets effectively is a must, often requiring split-second decisions about who needs urgent care. Some healers are like fortune tellers, predicting incoming damage and preemptively using abilities to mitigate it, while others are quick to react to health effects. But let's be honest, a good healer is a mix of both of these things, part psychic, part paramedic, and always a bit of a miracle worker. Damage dealers, known as DPS, or damage per second, are the go-getters of any MMO group, living for big numbers and flashy effects. Their main goal? Hitting enemies hard and fast, reducing them to digital dust and making fights shorter so tanks don't get overwhelmed and healers don't get cranky. DPS characters specialize in either direct damage or damage over time, dots, or sometimes a delightful combo of both. DPS come in many flavors: melee, ranged, and magic based. There are more, but we won't go that deep this convo. Each type has its own quirks and charms. Like in World of Warcraft, rogues are like ninjas, excelling in close quarters combat with high burst damage and stealth moves. While Force Masters in Lost Ark are like wizards who binge watch too many action movies, throwing fireballs and ice shards everywhere while yelling "woo" like Ric Flair. Effective DPS players are masters of their class's rotation, the magical sequence of abilities that churn out maximum damage. They also have to be savvy about managing their threat levels to avoid stealing the spotlight, or aggro, from the tank. Staying aware of their positioning to dodge AoE attacks from enemies is crucial. High-level DPS play is all about balancing maximum damage output with survival, adapting to the chaos of each encounter and still looking cool while doing it. To sum it all up, the role of tank, healer, and DPS are like the essential ingredients in a chaotic recipe for success. Each role brings its own wacky skills and responsibilities, and when they all sync up, it's like watching a well-rehearsed dance-off against powerful foes. Mastering these roles not only boosts your own performance, but also turns the entire gaming experience into a hilarious cakewalk through dungeons and raids. So whenever you're soaking up damage like a sponge, throwing out heals like confetti, or raining down destruction like an overzealous firework display, remember, every role is key in the epic dance party of an MMO gameplay. Remember, every role is key in the epic dance party of MMO gameplay. Remember, every role is key in the epic dance party of MMO gameplay. So grab your gear, find your role, and let's turn those epic battles into smooth sailing or hilarious chaos.